Welcome to Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast.
We are back with another episode of Around the Rinks. I'm Noah, joined by Brendan, Kylee, producer Liam, and Reece coming back from Mexico. How you doing, Reece?
I'm doing so good.
Yeah, Liam, you got some questions for him?
Hola, mi amigo. How are you doing?
Well,
so you were in Mexico. You were in Mexico for, was it 2 games of the Oilers series?
yeah, 3. Might have been 3. Or I was on the flight for Game 5. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Run me through it, though. Run me through it. What was it like being in Mexico watching NHL hockey?
It was really good, actually. We had a big crowd go down there. We were going down there for a wedding, so got down there and pretty much had like 65 people, probably 45 like pretty big Oilers fans. So there's a bunch of guys like around my age. Like my girlfriend had a lot of friends there too, and so they had one sports bar that pretty much every second night would get taken over by about 40 Edmontonians and just go crazy. It was awesome. Like they were really good. They would close it down at midnight though. And some of these games, like that overtime game, the Bouchard winner, that went like past midnight in Cancun time. So then we had to like really convince the staff because they're like very strict on times they had to close. So it worked out really good. Like we got take 3 steps backwards, you get a bar. Take 3 steps forward, you're looking at a big widescreen TV playing the Oilers game. So it was awesome.
Wow.
And then you get to wake up in the morning and you're on the beach with an all-inclusive Mexican resort. So, I mean,
Yeah,
Reece has it right in life. Here we are doing everything wrong. So, yeah. That's fantastic to hear.
I think probably the Evan Bouchard game winner with 30 seconds left. That was probably the most fired up I've ever been until I went to that game 6 in Rogers Place.
Okay.
Oh, what a game to be at, hey?
Yeah,
Holy.
I don't mean to brag.
Not a big deal at all.
It was definitely.
I was gonna say that Evan Bouchard 30 seconds left. We were in the moss pit, and yeah, it was wild out there. I can only imagine what it'd be like to be in Mexico for a game like that.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine what it would have been like to be back home at that mosh pit. It must have been going insane. Like having.
It was so fun.
Wild.
That's awesome.
So are we starting with the Edmonton Oilers? We might as well, I guess. We're already here.
We're already here. Do you want to go into the series or just the Vancouver series or go into the Dallas series?
I think you should touch a little bit on the series that just concluded because what a series that was.
That was amazing.
Do you guys want to do like a quick breakdown of the last couple?
I think we got.
I guess you guys might have. Yeah, you guys might have already done that.
I think the only one we have left is Edmonton, so might as well keep going at it. So, I mean, that great 7 series. I think we all had it go into 7. I pretty much either 6 or 7.
I had it in 6, I think.
So we all know it's gonna be a long series.
I was a little overconfident.
Yeah, what did you?
I think I had him in like 5.
Yeah,
you did too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think things would have been very different if Edmonton had won game 1 like they were supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Yeah.
I think if you win that opening game, I think things kind of transpire a bit differently for that series.
Yeah.
The fact that you had that lead and ended up blowing it and had to go coming home from Vancouver with even on the series instead of being ahead in the series. Yeah, I think that set things up for a 7 rather than a 5 or a 6, right?
And talk about nightmares and flashbacks and PTSD, not to take away from any of that, but game 7, 8 minutes left, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah,
we
when
all saw that.
scored.
Oh my
like, there's
goodness.
no way.
It was 3-0,
one
and I was like, I had a bad feeling. I'm like, we need another goal because 3-0 against the Canucks, how they had been playing, I was still scared. And I was right to be scared because they caught up. They had to. And that last minute, as an Oilers fan, my heart, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I was like, if they score on us, it's done.
Well, they had the shot. Like, they had a shot
with like
10
seconds
15
left.
seconds to go, and it got blocked by their own man. That would have
That was tough.
probably, if not gone in, it would have been a shot on net, right? So,
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of hearts that were stopped, I think, in Rogers Place.
Well, I just keep on like thinking I would so much rather be up by 1 than down by 1 in this moment. But like the way they pushed in that last call, whatever it was, but they scored 8-9 minutes left.
It's because McLeod messed it up.
Yeah, I mean mistakes happen. You just really don't want them to happen in the slot of your own zone.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of mistakes, that was pretty futile. But things are gonna
Yeah.
happen. Things are gonna happen, right?
Yeah, like it's a 60-minute hockey game, right? Like you're not going to play perfect, but
I mean-
oh my goodness, that's not the place to do it.
So,
Yeah.
as hockey players, you guys, watching Vancouver come out in Game 6 and Game 7 very flat, very slow, do you question something there along the lines of how are you not up for these games where you're on the brink of winning a series?
I would
It's weird.
almost say both teams are trying, though, right? Like, go ahead, Reese.
Sorry.
The hand up that early, we have a point to make.
Sorry. Like definitely in Game 7, Vancouver started the game out 1-3-1 and like was playing so defensive, like so back, like they were barely running a forecheck at all, which I didn't understand whatsoever because like that's how they made their money this series. Like was forechecking Desharnais and CC and Kulak and like generating turnovers and chances off the forecheck. And I couldn't like I wasn't able to watch Game 6 like being in the rink and stuff. Like I couldn't really tell like how they were playing it. But Game 7, it was super evident that they were like not taking any chances. They didn't want to force anything. Like they were just sitting back and praying to God that they could capitalize on the random chances they were gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which,
I think Brock Besser being out also.
that was a big one.
Yeah.
And Rick Tocchet did come out and say like, Kyle's frozen.
Everybody else can freeze. It's okay.
But yeah, Rick Tocchet did come out and say like he likes quality over quantity for shots, which in a way, yes, but like when you have Stuart Skinner in net and he hasn't looked best, that's when you got to throw everything on, right?
Especially Game 6 when he
it's
was just coming
extremely
back.
Game 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
that was the game
And
where I
I-
went, guys, is Vancouver who was on the brink of winning the series, not Edmonton. You got Skinner coming back. He hasn't played in 2 games. Run at this team. Take every shot you can. Let's go. And then they came out so flat.
The worst thing is like Vancouver was supposed to win the series 5v5. That was their game plan. And they shut Oilers special teams down in those 6 and 7 games. And 5-on-5, they didn't come. So like they didn't come out to play. And so that could be a good thing for Oilers. I mean, sure you didn't score, but it was 0 for 10. Something like that.
Yeah,
Something crazy like
Yeah, that
that.
was rough.
That
Well,
game,
I figured out.
You're winning games 5-on-5, which is not the case for Oilers games quite a bit. Like usually you win by special teams, but
no.
I mean that's a great
Um,
showcase there.
All of the rumors or talk coming out of Game 7 more than Game 6 was, is there an injury for Connor McDavid?
I think
they're both.
I
going
think
on?
the whole team is sick right
Yep.
now.
I
I
think they're all
think
banged
Cody
up.
Ceci was saying it, and I think there's like a sickness that's going around the locker room that's really like Perry was out because of it. Ceci was talking about how like all these guys in the back end, how awesome it was that they were mixing up the pairings and stuff because some guys were way sicker than others and they had to take minutes away from other guys. And like I think this whole team is kind of going through something. And I think that kind of explains why they look so bad in like Game 3 especially and Game 5. But like I wouldn't be shocked if McDavid and Hyman are both a little banged up.
Well,
Sure,
and
like
even
Draisaitl.
hear his voice after 7. I mean, the guy's been screaming,
Yeah.
right? But you can scream for an hour, and that sounded pretty croaky. That
That's
was
how
rough.
I've sounded. That's how
Yeah.
I have sounded every night leaving the hospital. I gotta be honest.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like
Being
there's
bad.
that too, right? That too, but yeah, woof.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, but I think there's a lot of talk of is he injured or is he sick? What's going on? Because McDavid has not played like he himself in a playoff game, especially those last 2 games. I mean, yes, Game 6 he had 3 assists, which okay, incredible. Still, we're shitting on the guy
Not
for having
good
3
enough.
assists. Yes,
He's, sick-
scored,
he's
get outta
second.
here.
He's leading. He's second in the playoffs right now for points with 21
Points, yeah.
points. Or, like he's
I think this is
he's
the-
doing
the-
his job.
I think they said this is the first time ever for the Oilers that there's 3 players over 20 points in the
Yeah, I think
playoffs.
so.
It's
That's
actually
I think
insane.
Our top three scored as much as the rest of the team did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hyman, Draisaitl, and McDavid.
And Boosh
It
as
does
well.
for the
And Bouchard. Bouchard's got 20 points, too.
Boosh.
Oh,
Mhm.
And to do it in 13 games or 12 games,
Yeah.
whatever that math works out to, before
Crazy.
not a math guy,
Not a
but but like that's incredible.
5 goals, 20 points for Evan Bouchard. Like,
and
he's
the
third-
most clutch
like-
goals ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
He had
They
3
really
game
did
winners.
matter.
I don't know.
big time.
Evan
I think-
Bouchard.
I
Oh,
think for the Oilers now, and I think the Oilers fan base, you're going, okay, look, we just went all 12 rounds versus Vancouver kind of thing. It was an absolute slugfest. We got the shit kicked out of us a little bit, but ultimately we're still the one standing. They got knocked out. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't get easier. And I think, if anything, you're coming up against the next Muhammad Ali in a sense, where
Yeah.
you got to run into a Dallas Stars who are absolutely on fire at the moment.
Yeah, buzzing.
and
Loaded, and they probably went against the 2 best teams in the Western Conference already. So,
the 2 teams that knocked Edmonton out the last 2 years.
yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the Edmonton Oilers are going to be the weakest opponent for the Dallas Stars, who's they faced already, right? Like that is kind of crazy. But like, are they might be also banked up. Like those are 2 tough series to go through.
They do have a
right?
couple older players who
Haven't
might
really-
be feeling a little bit,
yeah.
might be feeling the playoffs a little bit. I mean, but then again, those older players have won
Mhm.
everywhere they've gone, kind of thing. So
True.
I'm not gonna shit on them too much. I think they know how to win a playoff series.
Yeah. And those
Plus, we
that's gonna be
were
huge for them, those older players.
we were also talking about breaks, and Dallas hasn't had one until now, so maybe that'll affect them in a negative way.
Let's hope.
Maybe
Again,
it'll be
yeah.
positive.
Hopes
But
and prayers
hopefully it's
that
negative.
Unger's falling out of his rhythm. Hopes and prayers,
And
everybody.
that's the biggest star in that series right there is Ottinger versus Skinner
Mhm.
or Picard or who knows who, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Bring back soup.
it could change after a couple
Mhm.
games. So, but I don't know. Ottinger's a beast right now. He's a 918 save percentage against Colorado and Vegas Golden Knights. Like, that's not easy to do, right? So
Nope.
I don't know. And special teams is going to be pretty huge in this playoff series as well. Oilers top power play in the league and top penalty kill in the league for playoffs.
Let's give a
That's-
shout out to
that's-
that
that's-
penalty
The
kill, that
penalty kills.
4-minute double minor.
Oh my god.
4-minute double without a shot on net for Vancouver. Oh,
Yeah.
my
we
goodness
did
me.
it twice. The other time they had a 4-minute, they only got 1 shot against us. It was absolutely insane. Our penalty kill. Like I'm so, I don't know why it took us having penalty kills to really shine
Mhm.
in that series.
But yeah, I was looking at like all the advanced stats, and one thing I found is the Stars are first in the league for 5-on-5 save percentage. So they know how to shut it down. It's 5v5, that is scary for Edmonton. Like that is bad news for
But
Edmonton.
I don't think it's that scary because like
You don't
Edmonton's never been.
I know,
5-on-5
I know,
team
and that's how
except
you
for
won
now
against
all of a
Vancouver
sudden.
though.
Like,
So
yeah,
if your power
I
play
think
is still
that-
going 0 for 10.
Oh, I didn't go over 10.
I don't know what it was. It was 0 for
But they, like,
8.
I think they definitely
Didn't
that
score
one game. I think game 5 they went like over 6, which is brutal.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But I think that like really fucks them over, like with the percentage and stuff wise, because they were humming. Like I think that was probably the worst game they played all series, and then like I don't honestly have a whole lot of worries about the power play. It's been the best power play
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
league for the last 4 years. Like, sorry.
Sorry.
I've been in defensive mode like the last few
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Like some of these Canucks fans are
Defending
in my
your
head.
Oilers. Yeah, it's fine. I
So
mean,
just to get some thoughts and opinions. So over the season series,
Mhm.
Dallas won 2, Oilers won 1, including a 5-0 Dallas victory. The other 2 were very close. It was 4-3 either way kind of thing. The first game was a 4-3 loss for the Oilers, so Dallas won. But Edmonton had 49 shots on net that game.
yeah.
So I think that puts into perspective how good Ottinger can play when he's playing. You put 49 shots against a guy and you don't win that game, you're like, what?
Yeah. Again, it's very different in the regular season.
Yeah.
Like we've talked about the matchups. They don't
Well, look
really
at
they don't
Vancouver.
really matter.
No.
Exactly, right? So
When was that game too? Because I honestly don't really look at like any of our
don't
stats
remember.
being scary or bad when they were from the beginning of the year.
It was from the very beginning of the year. That was
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
November 2nd.
oh,
That was Sam Gagne's first game back as an Oiler.
Bring back Gags.
Oh,
there it is.
and we
yeah.
still lost that game. Yeah.
Yeah,
He
but
scored.
Gagne got 2 goals.
Mhm.
hmm It was still an electric game for us,
But,
whether it was
hey,
a loss or not.
just a fun little tidbit. Sorry, Scott Wedgwood was the starter for that game. It was
Fair
not
enough.
Jake Ottinger.
I
Wow.
my hand up.
Oh.
Look at
Fair
Reece kinda
enough.
looking into it.
Because I think at that time, Ottinger was pretty banged up. I think he was out for like a few weeks at that time.
Mhm.
But obviously, like it's kind of scary when Scott Wedgwood also has a 50 save game against
Yeah,
Edmonton.
so Scott Wedgwood starts game 1 is what you're trying to say?
Bring him in.
Oh, imagine.
But yeah, I mean, there will be a lot to talk about in terms of this
Mhm.
series, Edmonton, Dallas. Game 1 and 2 goes in the Lone Star State, so we'll see how Edmonton does on the road. I'm not very confident. We'll make predictions
Yeah.
later on in this video, but yeah, I'm not very confident. I gotta
I
be
think
honest.
one
Let's do
thing
it
to
now.
really watch.
Yeah.
One thing to watch for is and Hawkenpaw's supposed to be back, right?
Which is
Sometime within this series. Massive, because have you seen how much those D-men are playing 5-on-5?
It's crazy. And
Bouchard
the
Bouchard
five
would
are
rank-
got 5. Like,
Yeah, but Bouchard would rank 5th, I think, maybe 6th on that team
Mhm.
in 5-on-5, and Bouchard's leading the Oilers right now in 5-on-5 minutes.
wow.
It is
It is
crazy.
incredible. They are an aging decor. I mean, all those guys are doing everything they can to win. There's Chris Tanev's leading the playoffs in block shots.
I think there's three
surprised.
Dallas Star players are leading the playoffs in block shots. I think right
there you
now.
go.
I think
Right?
I saw that during the final game versus Colorado, and the guy made 2 blocks on 2 back-to-back shots. He shattered his ankle on the first one, got up, blocked another one, just hobbled to the bench in double overtime.
Yeah,
But I think by the time you ran, like we said earlier, with Vegas and Colorado, you run through those teams, and they kind of made a mockery a little bit of Colorado. It was
Sure.
it
Well,
looked pretty easy for them.
Even going to game 6, double overtime though, like
Yeah,
it wasn't as easy as it looks. I don't think.
And
I
in
mean,
double overtime,
going down 3-1, like
Colorado had chances to score, but Andre held them in it.
but this being said, like, do you really think that they can hold up? Do you think that there's someone else that goes down? Like, that's a lot of hockey. That's a lot of wear and tear, and especially on a not a young bod, right? You don't bounce back when you're 37, Ryan Suter, Chris Tanev, like you did when you're Miro Heiskanen, right? Like, I don't know, something to watch for. I'm not trying to say, cut him down or anything, but
it is a weird way,
it's-
weird thing to think about. But like these guys have been doing it their whole careers. Like Chris Tanev has been a beast.
Yeah.
Like he has been shot block king for his whole career, and he's been just known as a warrior. And even if he is playing with a sprained ankle or anything, he's going to be still out there and blocking shots and eating minutes. So it's hard. It's really hard to say.
But does
I
all
feel like
those
they can hold
minutes
up.
plus maybe some injuries or banged up bodies against a fast team like Edmonton and how they've been playing, does that kind of catch up to you a little bit?
I think that's maybe Edmonton's only hope kind of thing, right? Like,
But that's what Colorado was saying too, right?
Yeah.
and the way Dallas knocked down those Stars for the first, was it 4 games we were looking at those stats? That was silly. So, star power might.
I think the mood
not-
around Edmonton for this series is very different compared to what it was going into the Vancouver series.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, it's just Vancouver. Yes, they beat us 4 times in the regular season, but it's okay. Come playoffs, we'll be fine." Now everybody's going, "Oh God, this Dallas team is for real, and we gotta figure out a way to beat them." It's like, oh, okay, then we'll see.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the Dallas Colorado series at all?
Not as much as we already kind of picked
Yeah.
out.
what
But-
a OT winner and Selly though.
I know.
Holy
The most-
heartbreaker down center ice.
The puck don't
So
lie.
sick.
The puck doesn't
yeah.
lie at all. I feel like that goaltender interference call, that should have been a goal. That was a tough call. But who else but Matt Duchene to score
Mm-hmm.
the series?
You love to see it, and against a team that drafted him,
Yep.
right? Like, That
That
guy
he
was.
didn't want to be at.
What a story for him though. Like getting bought out last summer from Nashville,
Mhm.
and then
Well,
just
thanks for
coming
He's
the
on.
had
heyday.
quite the crazy career.
Right? I've
Like,
always liked Matt Duchene. I was
remember when
surprised.
he was in Ottawa?
Oh, God, how do you,
yeah.
how do you
Did they
remember?
not go? That was Eastern Conference Finals that year, no? That was the big run that Ottawa had.
I think it was the year
I don't know
after,
if that was
because I
this
think
year.
everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, they're adding Matt Duchene too," and then they just sucked.
Okay.
I think he had some dark years in Ottawa.
I think, yeah.
As
that
usually what
one
happens
goal
when
he
you go to
batted out of
Ottawa,
the
you have
air.
some dark years ahead of you.
Yeah.
But no, that double overtime was so fun to watch, and I feel bad for people who are in the stadium. I mean, you're. It was like a Thursday night. You gotta go to work in the morning. The game's not finishing till after
Mhm.
midnight, and then your team loses on top of it. It's like, God, like you're stuck in
And I mean,
traffic on the way
maybe-
home.
Maybe if you're from Edmonton, like maybe you text your boss, and you're like, "Hey, I was out at the Oilers game. Like, is there any chance I could come in a little bit
Yeah.
later?" Like, maybe they'll be totally accepting. Like,
Yeah,
this
sure.
is hockey in Edmonton. This is also Dallas Stars hockey. Like, this isn't like they might not have the
Not the
same like
market, no.
love for the game.
Yeah.
I'm always impressed though whenever I do see Dallas at home. Their stadium is rocking though. Like,
Yeah.
it looks like a good time. Plus, let me just be honest, the best color scheme in all of professional hockey.
I love
Gotta
the
be
green.
honest, the black and green work so well together.
Ooh, that's a rough
Who do you
day.
got?
Red
Who are you
hot,
taking?
boiling.
I love the green. I love their jerseys.
I think it looks so
I-
good.
And those
I do
black
think-
ones with the highlighter green. Oh, screw you! Whoever made those deserves to be shot for
I
real.
love it.
I do like their like old jerseys. They're darker green with the where it actually said Dallas Stars on the jersey.
Like a Mike Venado jersey,
Yes,
am I thinking, or no?
exactly.
Okay.
Kind of like almost like North Star kind of esque, but
Yeah.
those jerseys are so elite, So I don't know. Little jersey talk. Where's Liam gone now?
Yeah.
Looking for his Stars jersey.
Do we want to get into our
Let's get in.
predictions soon?
We could give a prediction for this series.
Okay.
I think this is the hardest one.
It is.
I hate doing
This
this
is
because
where I'm not the most sure.
I mean both of them. I think both series are coin flips.
Mhm.
They really are.
Like
never know.
maybe like second round, first round, those is maybe like a 60-40 kind of feel. This is pure 50-50 for both series.
Well, last round I thought that was hard,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, oh, I'm torn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really hard to say. Oh, look at Liam Pease.
Do we need to call an ambulance?
Yeah, is he
Yeah,
okay?
seriously.
Please
Whatever.
talk back to us.
Let's run the predictions. If he comes back, he comes.
Who wants to start?
what he's
I
up
don't
to.
want to start.
Let's just start at the top, Brendan. You got it.
I don't know. As an Oilers fan, I'm rooting Oilers in 6. As someone who's watched a couple hockey games, and I might not always be right in touch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. The way Dallas shut down Colorado's top guys, I don't know. And I honestly, I went Colorado in that series because I feel 9 times out of 10 that, star power outweighs depth. But
I think so too.
I think Dallas is going to get him, and I think they're going to get him in 7. I think it's going to be very similar to this Vancouver series and the way it kind of goes back and forth, and there's going to be good games one way and bad games the same way, and it's going to be a hell of a fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Game 7 doesn't bounce Edmonton's way when they have to go down to Dallas.
Yeah. How about you, Kylee, who was the only person to guess Dallas going to the conference final?
I did
out of our
pick
group?
Dallas for a reason. I did because I think like there's a lot of teams, including like you could even say our team, where we have like specific spots where we have really good players, and there are some other players that are lacking. Dallas is not one of those teams. I feel like they're pretty even all around. Like even the people they just brought up like a year or two ago, you got Stankoven, you got Johnston. They're both producing, and very heavily too. It's scary. But I am an Oilers fan. I'm going Oil in 6 or 7. I would say 7, but I'm trying to have a little bit of confidence because it's called denial and you got to have a little bit of it. But I am still going to praise myself that I'm the one that picked Dallas, the one and only. But I do think it's going to be Oil in 6 or 7, hopefully.
Hopefully. Well, I might
think we're
be.
gonna skip Liam.
Yeah, I think so.
Loop back.
I think I might be the only one going with the Stars here. Again, the way they took
Someone
care
has to.
the way they've taken care of the
Only one
defending.
going with the Stars?
I might be.
Were you not listening up here?
But you
Liam.
went Oilers in 6, no?
I said as an Oilers fan, I want that
Oh.
to happen, but I don't think they're gonna do it.
What did you have?
No,
then?
Stars in 7. I said it's gonna go
God.
Lake Vancouver.
Alright, whatever.
Are you kidding me?
I might be just
We're
down
gonna have to
there.
throw hands over here. Unreal. All right, carry on. Sorry to cut you off, but
no,
my
that's
goodness.
that's my bad.
At least one of us is listening over here.
Yeah, it's clearly not me. So maybe I'll be the second person to say Dallas. So I have Dallas and 6. I feel like the way they took care of the defending Cup champs and how Brendan was just saying about the Colorado Avalanche, how they shut down their star power. It's hard to say. And the MVP is going to be Wyatt Johnson of that series. He is a stud and a half. Stankoven is leading all rookies in the NHL for the playoffs with 6 points. He's
They
not
know
going
how
to
to
be the
pick
top
'em.
guy, but I know that the
They do.
scouting department in Dallas is scary.
They really do.
But yeah, I think the vets are going to come in clutch. I think
Oh.
Jamie Benn's going to be elite. I think Tyler Sagan's going to be great. Joe Pavelski's got to come back, right? Like the way he produced last year, I feel like this is his time to start shining away. So I got Stars in 6. It's going to be a hell of a series anyways. Like even if the Oilers win, Stars win, I think it's going to go to 6-7. But Stars in 6. We'll see. My predictions hasn't been good this year. This
I
playoffs,
hope
but
we
I
are wrong.
kind of wanted you to pick Dallas, Noah, so
Mhm.
that it could go the other way because you haven't been really lucky. You know
okay.
what? Honestly, and I'm not,
It's all on you.
No, I know.
because you've had some
It's
good
been tough.
picks. You've had some good picks. I mean, you picked Boston like me, but it really, at the end of the day, like this playoffs has been
Mhm.
flip of a coin.
Yeah.
It's been ridiculous.
Yeah, I picked Boston despite putting money on Florida. So maybe my wallet's more smart than my brain.
now you won.
So, okay, Reece, you wanna three prediction?
Yeah. First of all, I want to give a shout out to Kylee for being the only one to pick Dallas last round. Congratulations.
Pump those tires.
Thank you.
Right, that's
and,
exactly what they need, eh?
Mm.
Right up there.
And congratulations to Noah for being the only one so far to pick Dallas. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, only one. I can't believe I misheard that.
I can't believe I rambled on after I said I want the Oilers in 6.
I thought you meant it could
didn't
just
hear
like
you,
go
but
either
I
way,
mis-
but you're going as your Oilers fan heart.
Okay,
I didn't
fair
hear
enough.
you, Brendan, either. I thought you went oil too. So
We'll talk for another 20 seconds
okay.
after that.
At least I'm not the only one.
I just
So-
stayed quiet so I could watch Noah get
Oh.
flamed.
Unbelievable.
I'm gonna need to listen to that back. There must have been
I
something
hope
I misheard.
I
there.
hope I fumbled it and said Oilers in 6 twice.
Yeah.
We'll clip it.
I thought you meant it as like Stars can take it in 7 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Reece, carry on.
Possibility. But yeah, basically, I think there's a lot of factors that come into this. In my non-biased opinion, I have clearly my extremely non-biased
Mhm.
opinion. I have got the Edmonton Oilers in 7. This is going to be an electric series to watch, even better than probably the best series I've ever watched in that Edmonton-Vancouver series. Like, I think this whole depth scoring thing that's being brought up, I don't see it as big of an issue as people make it out to be. You've got the 4 top point scorers in the NHL, and the Oilers, like, why does their bottom 6 need to do anything other than play shutdown hockey? I think that, in my opinion, you've also got, like, Dallas has got the vets, right? Like, you've got Sagan and Ben and Duchesne and Pavelski. Like, these guys are getting old, and like they don't know how many more opportunities. And not only, like, you talk about a defense that's playing way too much hockey and a defense that could get run down from that. Ryan Suter is not a good hockey player. Sorry, that's not what I meant to say. He can't keep up at the NHL at like the last couple of years. at this pace that he's at, he's got to be perfect positionally. And this Oilers team, I think, is way too fast. And any chance that they're going to get, they're going to put 97 on the ice with Ryan Suter whenever they get the opportunity. And I think that these things, like, there's going to be a lot of coaching strategies that are going to have to come into this. But, like, in my opinion, the Oilers' top six is stronger. Like, we still don't know if, like, obviously Johnston and Stankoven have been dogs these playoffs, but, like, this is their first real run, like, getting deep in these playoffs. Like, or I guess Johnston was on the team last year, but, like, who knows how long they can produce it the way that they are. And you've also got Dylan Holloway, who's come out of the blue as, like, one of the most electric guys in this Oilers team. Like, that goal he scored in Game 6, oh my God.
Amazing.
I think that was actually the turning point of the entire series.
Sure. Yeah.
Honestly. And, like, if you can get Darnell Nurse playing anything like he did those last two games of the series, like, I honestly don't find it crazy to think that, like, the Oilers' fourth line can take it to that Dallas fourth line. Like, Fasca, Steele, and Craig Smith doesn't jump off the page to me any more than Janmark, maybe not Carrick, but Brown. Like, I think that they can definitely handle it. But I've got Oilers in 7. This team knows how hard it is to get to this point that they're at, and I don't think that they're going to just, like, oh, well, Dallas is the better team, whatever. Like, this is not going to be a 4-0 sweep like it was against Colorado where they were just happy to be there. Like, this is their opportunity to win, and they have to do it. So
You're right.
Can the city of Edmonton handle another Game 7, though? Gotta be honest.
It might explode.
Parade.
It might explode, genuinely.
That was great,
Especially
though.
'cause the weather's going to be nicer come by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Summertime. Oh, boy, we're going to be feeling that one.
Catch
say,
me at the mouse.
Liam, we just went through all of our.
I'm so sorry for I missed
yeah.
all of that.
Sorry, I got one more point.
Oh.
Sorry, and depending on how long Hintz is out of this series is going to
that's a big question mark.
Yeah.
And if from what I've heard, Edmonton is getting Henrique back, if not Game 1, Game 2, and I think that is, like, huge for this team. Like, Henrique does so much off the puck and can play with McDavid. Like, that's a whole nother threat.
Well, and even if you don't want to break up that line, right? You talk about the top 6 buzzing right now. You insert him on the third line, and you move down Fogle, or you probably won't move down Perry, but even have McLeod. Like, McLeod doesn't really play that game either. But
Perry missed Game 7.
Get a healthy.
Did we miss Corey Perry?
No, I didn't.
Corey Perry
I don't know.
I gotta be honest.
Corey Perry hasn't been
Corey Perry out of the lineup then.
Corey Perry could be that clutch guy.
There's
though.
options.
I guess you don't want to risk leaving somebody out who could do something in a series. But did you do your West and East predictions?
No, we
Just
doing the
West
right now.
and you're up.
West.
You're
I hate to be the heartbreaker, but I'm gonna say Dallas in. I'll say 6. I'll be polite to Edmonton and say 6.
That's what I also said.
Dang, you and Noah are the only ones that have picked Dallas.
Okay. Brandon also went Dallas.
No, we're outnumbered. Yeah, me
I
and
want
Rinks
the
over here.
Oilers to win. I want the Oilers to win. Don't get me wrong.
Oh goodness.
This Dallas team, genuinely though, this Dallas team is made for winning a Stanley Cup.
It's okay, Reese. We get to rub it in.
Like I always
We're
like to
just the
say,
2 homers.
what I like to say about this Dallas team is when they went to the Cup Final 2020, that was their third line right now. Like,
Yeah.
when Sagan was popping off during that run, Hudobin was in that. Like, though that core is still there, and Robertson was on that team. He was a young kid at the time, but they were there at that time. And now, how it shifted on how that old third line's now their new first line with Robertson, and how Sagan and Ben have dropped down, but they're still there, and they've been doing this, and they can do it easily. So I don't know.
This is a very experienced Dallas team.
I think it's just the experience alone gets them done in 6. So I don't know. Do we want to switch it to the Eastern Conference? You guys
Let's do it.
anything
I
else
feel
you
like
want
we're
to bring
gonna
up?
split.
Again, this is another
Maybe
crazy
one more.
Here
Sorry.
you go. Shoot it.
Actually, and I think a big X factor is Stuart Skinner, obviously. I think he's going to be in every single game of the series. Maybe if there's something crazy that happens, Picard comes in for the last period or whatever.
Sure.
But I think that throughout this whole season, it might sound crazy. The reason that Ottinger is like labeled this big elite goalie isn't because of any like major crazy regular season play. It's because of that one round against Calgary where like Calgary peppered him every single game and he stood in there and Dallas still ended up losing the series. But basically, over the last 2 years, Stuart Skinner has been the best, or not the best, the better goalie statistically, like with chances against and like the volume and quality of shots that he's getting against and that kind of thing. He's been the better goalie, just not these playoffs so far.
I think he got his wake-up call.
I could see that.
He got it.
I think Ottinger is slightly overrated. I'm excited to see him take on Draisaitl and McDavid, but I do think Skinner is underrated.
I did love how when Edmonton won that series, the players celebrated very much with Skinner. That tells me that he's still part of that dressing room. No one's turned on him yet. No one's blaming him for any losses or anything. That says to me that that's still a collective unit. They go, that's our guy. We're back in Stu. We're all good here together.
I think it was a turning point for him because he had to play the curve of his game in Game 7 because I think it was honestly a matter of if he's going to be our starting goalie still, if he lost that game or not. He played the game of his life. I think him getting benched and Picker coming out for a game needed to happen in the Vancouver series because if that happened in the Dallas series, we're toast. It needed to happen in round 2. It happened.
That was a great point, yeah.
I think he needs to, because when Skinner locks in, though, I've never seen a goalie lock in so hard.
I mean, he played great in the LA series. Like, he was fantastic in that series.
I think he needed to have his hiccup, and it's over.
Yeah.
The other one, I guess, while we're on it, and I'm thinking of things. Who's Dallas's Kopitar, Deneau, JT Miller, like to contain Ben?
So,
Ben, yeah.
Like again, they
Dallas,
lock down.
Dallas
I think they
plays
do
a
it as a collective unit, right?
I think Dallas is very differently because their defensemen are just such good at locking down. So their forwards can play a lot more physical. So that's why you see guys like Ben always matching up with big time players like that. So
no, that's a great. And I think that's kind of where my head went. But like, really, on this, the one that I don't see on this Dallas Stars roster is someone like that, and maybe they find him, right? Like, there's a ton of awesome hockey players on that team that are very capable, but there's not one that stands out to me off the top of my head.
I'm curious how the matchups are
where I was at.
I also, Chris Tanev was also extremely exposed in that series against Calgary.
Sorry, say that again.
Chris Tanev was also like pretty exposed in that series against Calgary when Edmonton beat him.
Yeah,
and he's also older.
I know during that Calgary Edmonton series, I know he was dealing with the sprained ankle at the time. So I don't know.
Good point.
It depends how banged up they are right now. So
dang it.
Also, Kylee. We all saw that.
Sneaky. Reese's was a little sneaky.
Yeah, sorry.
So that's why
you can see it light up through the bottom.
You might as well just whip it out now. So
calling you.
Hey, we're not that kind of pod.
It's fine. No one's watching 40 minutes in. We're fine.
Welcome back to Around the Rinks After Dark, everybody. We're whipping it out.
Okay, let's go to East.
Did we get into
East Coast?
Let's go.
Yes, East Coast.
That one.
Currently 1-0 for the Florida Panthers in the first period. So there's that.
There's that.
Although they're not winning the series. They're not winning the series. I'm sorry. You can't. You can't. I don't give a shit.
I think I'm going to be an unpopular opinion. But
I don't care, okay? I was on the New York Rangers hype train in the last round. I thought I was going to get it right in 4. Carolina came back then. The New York Rangers, I just love them. I don't know why. I'm vibing with the Rangers right now. So they'll win this series. I'm going to say in 7, though.
You're not going 4 again, Liam?
7. We're going in 7, okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough series. Like,
I think that one's
it's
going to be
hard not
tougher
to
than
it's hard not to pick
Oilers.
the Rangers. They are up and down, looking like the best team. I mean, best team in hockey, and the only thing is, the President's Trophy curse, right? It's just like, could that be a factor? I don't know.
But they have so many like weird things that are lining
Like
up.
the team of
perfectly.
destiny
The
thing.
way
Yeah,
the
it's
way
like-
how
Yeah.
it looks so similar to the '94 run.
Yeah.
Well, they had that earthquake too, which I think is the craziest one because
Well,
they're like, "Oh, this
and
is the same thing that happened in '94." Like,
Yeah.
blah blah. I'm like, "Holy, we are really tossing it back."
Was it not an eclipse year as well?
Yes.
Oh, that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Like,
was listening to somebody
weird.
name them off, and it was like probably 5 or 6 like really weird coincidences.
I hate I hate it because I was saying the same thing when the Habs went to the Stanley Cup final. I was comparing it completely to the '93 run, like pretty much
I
picture
think
perfect. But I mean, the
It was a little
eclipse,
different.
I don't know. But I don't know. Comparing it to something that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, geez, I don't know.
yeah.
It's hard to say. But
We're gonna start,
I
Brendan.
mean, if the stars are aligning, Brandon, yeah, you want to start it off with this hell
We
of a
already
series?
go.
What?
I'm not listening to Liam again. What are you wearing the headphones for, bro?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
No.
Go second.
I
then.
am. Thank you. I love New York. I have also kind of been on this New York bandwagon. I originally thought that Carolina in the second round would walk over them, and I went, no. Like after that first round, New York, they're a scary team, and I think the Florida Panthers are a little bit scarier. They've got Dieter Tarasenko is fit in there like a glove.
Yep.
They got a Selke winner. Ryan Hart is right there with them, playing fantastic defensive hockey along with scoring as many goals as anybody in the league this year, right? Well, maybe not Matthews, but wah. See you later in the first round, buddy. All right, like Bob, he doesn't care about his stats. He cares about getting that team wins, right? If he lets in 5, who cares? He's not letting in 6, right? Like that's kind of where this team's at. They went on the run last year, and I don't see why they don't make it back this year. The Rangers, I mean, that's a hell of an opponent standing in your way, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to go the distance, and I'm going to have them on the other side of 7, and they will walk through and play the Stars in the final.
Wow. Kylie?
Okay.
You're
I
un-
am
unpopular.
Your boy Matt Rampage been
Yeah.
playing all of 6 minutes a game, so
And it
Maybe a little
counts. It
lower
counts.
than
It's
that.
going to be the
5
reason
in
they won.
warm-up.
I sat down before the playoffs and I wrote out my whole bracket. The only thing that upset my bracket was freaking Winnipeg. But I'm sticking to my bracket. I don't care what happens in these playoffs, honestly. I'm going Rangers and I'm going in 6.
okay.
I think they got it. I think this is their year to get to the final. Like, my final is going to be my final, and I hope it goes that way.
I
but
would love
I
for a
think-
New York Dallas final because it'd just be two worlds colliding in terms of New York City, the big lights,
Yeah.
and then
Mhm.
Dallas. It'd be a great little storyline there.
It's like, like what they say, Alberta's like the Dallas of Canada. I want to see like Oilers versus Rangers. That's what my final is. And I think it's going to end up that way.
Would you want the Dallas of Canada in the final, or just the Dallas of Dallas to be in the
No.
final?
Dallas
Come
to
on.
Dallas.
I
There's
want-
levels to
I want the
this.
dupe, okay?
The dupe.
I think they're a great team, though. I think they've been on a tear, and I don't think their momentum's going to run out at all. I think the Florida Panthers are going to actually give them a decent matchup because it doesn't seem like they've had that yet. Sorry, Hurricanes. But sorry for
Wow.
fly up in here. But I think that they're going to have a tougher time, but I think it's going to be like 5 or 6.
Yeah, 5 or 6. I don't know. I think this
I have
series
confidence.
has to go
Yeah.
7. I feel it's one of those series that it's going to be when you go back and watch later on in the future. Is just how much
We thought it was going to go longer with the Hurricanes, and it almost went freaking 4.
you know what? Sure. I
They
mean,
almost
no.
went.
I had it
Yeah.
at 5. To be fair,
But,
I
like-
had Rangers in 5. Like the Rangers
Almost.
are what? Sorry.
I was gonna say almost only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, but that is an absolute meaningless statement. So carry on, please.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm just gonna go through the Rangers. Like Lafreniere has been brilliant for them. Like he
Yeah.
is showing that he is not a first overall bust. Like I'm pretty sure his point per game. He has 10 points in 10 games. He's looking great on the Rangers team. He's adding depth. Like Panarin hasn't. I think he's around there too. But like Panarin hasn't been. I mean, he's not playing how he was playing this regular season. Vinny Trocheck.
Lafreniere also has a point per game, only playing like 15 minutes a night.
And that's a lot of those points. He leads Rangers 5-on-5 points with 7. So that's another thing. Vinny Trocheck and Zibanejad are leading the team 14 points. Those guys are looking outstanding. Like extremely Trocheck. Like this guy
Trocheck, that's
is
so
an
sick.
absolute beast, and he is playing like the most proper playoff style hockey out there. And special teams for the Rangers is pretty much dominating each side. Like 89.5% on the PK with 4 shorthanded goals is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's a big old X factor.
Third for power play and third for penalty kills. So they're just absolutely dominating
Yeah.
both sides of that.
And so on the they're a great team. I just think the Florida Panthers are tougher. And I feel like toughness will win this series. And I feel like every single person on that Florida Panthers team can just outbody everybody on that Rangers team. I think Trocheck can be that one guy who can be the outstanding player on the Rangers, him and Igor. But
Well, how much magic does Kreider have left in him? That
True.
guy just seems to be the heartbeat of that team.
he is the heartbeat of that team. Honestly, you should be one of the, he's up there with probably the best leadership on that team. He's up there. He could be the captain if Big Boy Trouba wasn't back there. But
Do you know
It's hard
off
to
the top of
say.
your head what their like what the Rangers power plays coming at?
31.4%. So they got a crazy power play. But Florida's got one of the best PKs in the league, and they've been showing it time and time again at how good two-way players they have and
Well,
how aggressive
you know
they
who
are too.
I absolutely love watching on that team is Forsling. That guy,
Oh,
That's who I was gonna bring up on the Panthers.
unbelievable. Who's got by it? Like, you can't. The guy's a wall. But carry on, make your point.
they got, you know what Florida gave up for him?
I don't even
Free.
want to know.
Nothing.
They picked him up on waivers.
0 waiver watch.
Waiver watch,
Of course.
and now he's locked in for the next 8 years. So,
Oh,
like, what a pickup that is.
Yeah.
Like, he has been absolutely elite, playing 22 minutes and a half a night, and he scored the
He got 7 points.
he scored the series clinching goal against Boston too.
Like-
Like clutch goal.
Yeah.
And Paul Maurice did come out and said there's a whole bunch of different types of defensemen out there, but what he is the best at it. And I couldn't agree more. He is so good at locking it down, going up in the play. He is fantastic, like pure two-way defenseman.
when I think of
Gustav Forsling.
defenseman, that's who I want. If I could have 6 of those guys,
Oh,
screw
imagine.
Bobby Orr. Give me
Would you-
Gustav Forsling, man.
Would you rather Gustav Forsling or Matthias Ekholm?
Forsling.
Ooh, Forsling.
Forsling?
Forsling.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
ice cream.
Ekholm's been very good though.
Ekholm is like I think
Home and Vinny,
Yeah.
place in my heart.
that they play like a very similar style, but I think
Sure. Yeah.
Ekholm might be a little more like offensive.
Yeah,
And I think a little bit more physical,
but-
too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's.
Forsling is just like-
Ekholm's definitely a more physical guy.
Yeah.
Forsling is just like, yeah, you're not getting past me.
Yeah. It's like almost, and I hate to do it because this is probably one of my favorite players ever, but like Nick Lindstrom-esque, where like, try it.
Sure.
Try it. Dump it in the other corner.
I dare you.
Because you're not
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
You're not.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good little throwback right there. But yeah, the
Thanks.
Panther side, Bob Roski. Bob.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky.
Big save, Bob. He doesn't have the best stats right now, but like you were saying,
He don't
lets
care.
in 5. He doesn't care. The amount of highlight reel saves this guy has made this playoffs, holy smokes! He's gonna be on TSN top 10 saves. You're gonna see him for the next year.
Decade.
So, yeah, I mean, like the one that he made last series, where he just like, I can't even tell you, I can't even
Yeah.
describe it.
Try it.
Like diving glove save.
99.9% of the Earth's population can't move like that. That's
I pull my hamstring like.
I pulled it watching it.
halfway, yeah. It's sitting on my couch, yeah. Oh my god.
But yeah, Matthew Tkachuk too. Like,
yeah, and you always forget about him down there.
yeah, you always forget about him, and he is the top. He's your
kind
top
of
guy. He's the
dog,
dog.
yeah.
Chris Kreider, you're saying he's the heartbeat. This guy is the heartbeat of South Florida. He is.
Pretty sure that's Pitbull, actually. Pretty sure.
Mr. Worldwide. Mr. Worldwide. Matthew
rocks
Tkachuk.
those white pants. We're not taking it away.
But yeah, and just so many goal scorers on this team too. You have Carter Verhaeghe, who again a person everybody forgets about, who they got for nothing, and Sam Reinhart, who scored 57 goals this year. Like, he hasn't been the same goal per game as he was during the regular season, but he's the type of guy who's going to be scoring goals for you this series. Those
you know who else
you need.
was great in the season and then did nothing in playoffs? JT Miller. Shout out to him.
Oh, don't say that. Don't. I think JT Miller was fantastic.
We're moving on. Back to Florida. Okay, back to Florida.
Anyways, I got the Florida Panthers in 7.
Yeah.
They're just gonna
2 for Florida, two for
Rangers,
New York.
Yeah. They're just
Reece Rinks, it's up to you.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, I think it's like how Brandon started off, right? Like, this New York team is so deep. Like, even just going and looking at their lines right now, like, I mean, Roslovic on the first line looks crazy, but he's been playing so well up there.
Yeah.
Like, being able to do that, toss some guy up there that was probably going to be playing bottom 6, and then all of a sudden you push back Panarin onto the second line. Like, having a second line of Panarin, Trocheck, and Lafreniere, like, that is insane. And finally Zibanejad has woken up. Like, he all regular season struggled, but like, hearing Rangers fans being like, oh, we gotta trade this Zibanejad contract, blah, blah, like, stud. And like, they are so sick. And then you look at Kylie's like biggest crush in the world, Jacob Trouba, and a little mix in of like that grit from what's his name? Jeez Louise. I can't think. Rempe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
What do you mean you forgot about him?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he's irrelevant.
There's so many guys on this
Plays 6
Rangers
minutes
team
a
that's
game,
so
okay?
sick. Yeah, it is
Two
pretty
best
easy,
guys in the
bro.
world, Trouba and Rempe.
Watch him
Shout
get
out
the
to
series
Rempe, though,
clincher.
like, good for him.
That'd be mental.
Exactly.
3
Stanley Cup
goals a
winner.
game from them.
Triple overtime, game 7. Here comes Rempe.
Rempe.
Off the shin pad.
No, he goes full between the legs.
Between the legs, eh?
Yeah.
But and they also just got Cheadle back. Like, having him come back in
That's
your top
huge.
9, that's sick. You got Aaron Fox too on the back end. Like, this team is so sick, and that's kind of why, like, I agree with Brendan. It sucks to see him go out this series. Like, this Florida team. Then you mix in Paul Maurice doing whatever the fuck he has to do to change things up and everything. Oh my gosh, this Panthers team is so sick. Like, Barkov being able to go up against any top line and outproduce them and like literally dominate them. Like, that is a whole different thing. And then, okay, yeah, whatever. First line, like, we get dominated. Who's on the second line? Only Matthew Tkachuk and Carter Verhaeghe. Like, this team is so sick. And then, like, Sam Bennett being the prick he has been and somehow, like, just doing whatever he can to not get suspended or fined or seen by the NHL at all is just crazy.
That Brad Marchand.
You got the biggest
Unbelievable.
shit disturber in the league and Nick Cousins. Like, he'll go in there, punch somebody in the face and drop into a little ball. And then, like, the defense, like, you've got Ekblad and Forsling, like, nobody getting past those two. And Montour and Mikola, like, you've got the freaking Frankenstein and Mikola, who can probably take on anybody. And then Montour, who's, like, one of the best offensive defensemen in the league.
And OEL out of the grave.
I do think that the goaltending is really going to play a big part in this. Like, it depends on which Shesterkin we get, because we know what Bobrovsky we're going to see. We're going to see, like, the most dominant goalie you think you've ever, like, prime Hasek in net. But Shesterkin, I think, is a bit of a wild card. Sometimes he's been great these playoffs, I think, but sometimes like you don't know what you're getting out of him. But all being said, I think Florida handles this a little bit easier. Like I think they handle it. They take him down in 6 for sure. But this is a clash of the Titans. Like these teams are sick.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be a hell of a series there. But do we got a goal? No, I think it's still 1-0. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it is on my TV.
Yeah, it is too.
I got 1-0.
Got 1-0. I also got 1-0. So we'll see who takes
Yeah,
game
I
one
think
there.
I think this next week and a half is going to be absolutely bonkers. I think we're going to be going through mood changes like crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to Moss Pit
Oh, yeah.
Thursday and Saturday. I'm scared.
Nice.
Yeah.
One thing that Reece said that I find really interesting is that whoever wins either side of here, west or east, we're going to be losing a fantastic hockey team because all 4 of these teams are great teams with some fantastic players.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shame seeing whoever goes out of the tournament at this point, but it's like you gotta beat them to make the Stanley Cup Finals, right? So
It's gonna sting. I want to see Oilers get past the Western Conference. I really do. I think that we need it to happen after Colorado 2 years ago. And what I wanted to mention earlier is I think Dallas took out our 2 biggest competitions for us, and then Oilers can come back and be like, now we're gonna slay the dragon that slayed our dragons. What a storyline would that be?
Usually, though, if you beat our 2 biggest hurdles,
Yeah.
you become the biggest hurdle. I
Yeah.
gotta be honest. It's like that game of
but-
a snake, or if you eat the 2 other big snakes and you're the big one, it's like, oh boy.
Yeah,
I like the challenge.
I don't think Connor and Leon are ducking anything. Like I think they're willing to take this head on.
There's not a single person that Oilers dressing room going, guys, this is it. What a great run. We've had fun. Let's
Maybe
pack it
Kiki.
up and go on vacation. Don't yell at Cody Kiki, okay? He's fine. What a goal he scored, okay? He's living.
Yeah.
You know what?
Mr. Game 7.
I was
No
Always call him
kidding.
Mr. Game 7.
That's a
Game 7.
last
He played a
2
great
game
game though.
sevens
Yeah.
he scored.
Sure.
Did anyone
Kings
hear
won
the
too.
Did anyone hear the ESPN call for that goal? Where the guy
No.
goes, Cody Cece, who would have guessed he scored?
Imagine your kid watching it.
Nobody picked him
that's
to
so
score
rude.
first. No.
Yeah, like imagine if he had that prop.
Hi.
Oh my god.
That would have
Cody
paid.
Cece goal? Hey, if this goes to game 7, I know who I'm putting money on.
No kidding.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
Might as well.
throw
bucks.
all of it. Throw the
$5
savings.
Yeah, I'll put like
The
$5
student
on
loan.
extra. Hold my next
We're
tuition.
paying. Yeah, we're buying a house with that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be showing up to Nate next
Oh.
semester.
Yeah.
Okay, think
We've all
that's-
made our predictions.
that's pretty
We've
much
all
it.
talked what we want to talk about. Yeah.
we can go on to some big news that's been dropping today, at least.
Hit it, Fergie.
Yeah, we got it. We got begins with Sheldon Keefe out of Toronto. All know that, but immediately today he's going to the New Jersey Devils. Which, who else but RA to send that news
No
to?
kidding,
Great
eh?
news.
That was so funny. But yeah, 4 years for Sheldon Keefe in Toronto. So
Respectable, honestly.
we'll see
Yeah.
if that holds out. But now Toronto has a vacant coach, and who did they get? Craig Berube. I think everybody
That's
saw that one coming.
cute.
I think
Calahoo,
all of
Calahoo,
them saw
Alberta
that.
own.
Yep.
Calahoo, Alberta's own.
Alberta.
Craig Berube.
So they had a press
go.
conference, and Brendan Shanahan was like talking about how he and him have had a couple fights in their career and whatnot. So,
Mm.
you know, they have some history together, and I'm pretty sure Berube did play in Toronto as well. So, more you know. But Rod the Bod, Brenda Moore signs an extension with the Canes. So
Sorry, are you saying Calahoo, Alberta, with a population of 100 people?
really?
Fair enough.
yeah, you're
Do
talking
they
about
even have a
my
rink?
turf.
That's crazy.
Yeah, come 1v1 me, Kylee.
I mean, it's in Alberta, so
But like, I always respect people who come out of like those small towns. It's like
Yeah.
you had to work to get to wherever you are today, kind of thing. Like that takes a lot of effort.
And that is
Yeah,
all
especially-
Berube is. He is a guy who works his ass off. He did it during his NHL career, and he's been doing it in his coaching career as well, taking the Blues to that Blues team to the Stanley Cup Final. So he can pretty much do anything, I think. So, But yeah, I was just saying, Rod the Bod, Brendan Moore signs an extension with the Canes.
Love that. Love that.
He belongs in Carolina, and he said it too. He doesn't see anywhere else he can be doing this job at. So, we did have some question marks, like if they lost in that second round, but hey, they're sticking with the guns, I guess.
How long? Do you know how long the extension's for?
I'm pretty sure that's also 4 years.
So if he when is that gonna be? Where are they gonna draw the line of okay, we get to the same spot. We
You wanna wait?
I think they're gonna have to trade somebody. Sorry, Liam.
Oh, I'm waving at that a big sexy girlfriend there.
Miss Lauren, make an appearance.
Yeah,
Brought me
Oh, KFC.
Holy
popcorn
Oh, there
chicken
you go.
and some
Yeah.
leftover.
There we go.
Oh, not bad, eh?
Can we get a food review while you're doing the pod?
I'm probably gonna snot chew on it while my mic's in my mouth, but I could definitely pull it away and come back on for you.
ASMR.
Give you a full Portnoy impression. Give you a 9-7.
Yeah, some popcorn chicken there.
Oh, he's
But-
going ham.
Gator Tots 10.
But yeah, you're just saying, I think like Rod Barron, Brendan Moore is going to be like a John Cooper kind of type of guy. Like he belongs there. He belongs to stay there. Same like Mike Sullivan. It could be another guy you could talk about, but I think he might be gone soon.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right.
But I do got a little stat here. There's only 4 current NHL head coaches that were hired before 2022.
Wow.
That is just how
What?
much coaching. Yeah, 4.
Cooper,
Oh,
Brendan Moore,
Yep.
Torts?
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Sullivan. Oh God.
I got the last one here.
What
Just one.
what
Just
conference?
Western Conference.
Oh, the guy from Colorado.
Yeah.
Jared Bednar.
Jed
Mhm.
Berna. Yeah.
Sickest lettuce in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Honestly,
seriously.
right? Like he looks like Gene Principe. With those,
Nobody looks
like.
like Gino. Gino's in a league of his own.
But we also got Jim Hiller getting named head coach of the LA Kings, getting ripped the interim tag off of there.
I would love to hear what he said in that little interview with Rob Blake to get that job.
I am surprised.
After getting bounced in the playoffs like that, I'm surprised that dude has a job. He must have said that 3-1-3 or 3. What was it? What is it? A 1-3-1.
Yep, there you go.
He must have said that thing sucks. We're not implementing that next year because
I think they were talking about it though. Yeah, I'm pretty
Even
sure they're moving
Fiala
away
that
from
in
it.
his.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say all the exit interviews were just like, nope.
So
How do you blame him? I mean,
I
you're 0 for
do-
3 in the last 3
like,
years playing it.
I'm not 100% sure when he got when McClellan got fired and when he got brought in. Like I don't know if it was before or after the All-Star break. But I assume that if it was before, then he probably would have had time to implement his own systems and stuff if he really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was after, I could definitely see him just being like, "Okay, let's ride this out. Let's do this." And then this summer, he completely makes this team his own, which
Yeah.
I think they have to. You can't keep running this same 1-3-1 back.
Yeah.
I think those LA
Just like
Kings
Knob
have,
did.
have a lot of stagnant players that they need to kind of
I agree.
move on or change up. Kind of, it's been the same team for 10 years almost.
Yeah,
It's been so similar.
I agree.
At least their top players have been.
So we're
Yeah.
definitely going to see a different LA Kings team. Hopefully they try to spark Dubois or not Dubois or Pierre Luc Dubois. And jeez, it's been an hour. And Kevin Fiala and those guys, right? So
Am I
who knows?
correct in saying the award got given out for Coach of the Year?
Yes, you are right. Rick Tocchet winning the Jack
Completely
Adams.
deserved.
And
Yeah.
a landslide.
Not even close.
Yeah.
Good. Who else would you put in that conversation?
I honestly, the old top 3, I feel like could have been in that conversation. I like Rick
Yeah.
Bowness. I
What?
feel like could have been there. Andrew Burnett bringing the Predators into the playoffs. Just in general, that's pretty similar to the Vancouver Canucks, but the Vancouver Canucks had a lot more regular
Nobody
season.
thought the Canucks were even going to make playoffs this year.
That was the same with the
They
Predators.
just went to 7 versus supposedly on paper the
Mhm.
favorites to win the
Yep.
cup, and they did not look like they were a team of young up and coming players kind of thing. They look like they've been put together for seasons.
Yeah, no, I'm not dissing Rick Tocchet or anything. He
Don't you talk to Rick that way, okay?
100% deserves
I know
it.
I know a lot of Oilers fans wanted Knob contending there, and like I think he did
He
great.
was,
He
though.
changed
I think
his
he was
team
fifth.
around.
Fifth,
But I
yeah,
don't think he wins that, right? A lot of Oilers fans were like, Knob wins it. And I was like, we got to give him credit
it's
where
hard to
credit's
get.
due, but I don't think he wins it.
I love
to get
me.
it.
I
Somebody
love
that
me
wasn't
some
there
big
for
knob,
big
okay? I
man.
love me some big knob.
Yeah.
That man's a
Oh.
boring looking man, okay? He needs to do something. I'm tired of the gray. He looks like an insurance salesman.
You want him like dye his hair?
Spice something up.
All right.
No,
Do you
no.
want a coach do you want a pretty coach or do you want to win, Liam?
I want
I mean-
both. I want both.
Hey, we talked about it last podcast, but what makes a good coach is be bald. So maybe
Yes.
Yeah.
he needs to shave it. Yeah.
Listen here,
But I
knob. This is
mean-
the vibe, okay?
Like Knob came in and put that team like kind of where they should be, right? Like they were so underperforming. Like, I mean, yes, but Tocchet took a team that no one thought was gonna maybe contend for a second
But-
wildcard spot.
Mhm.
I do think Tocchet completely deserves it, but I think that he just pushed all the right buttons to make it because this team's been the same for the last like 3 or 4 years. Like
Yeah,
that
totally.
Vancouver team has been pretty similar, aside from like, that bottom six. But like Miller, Pettersson, Hughes, like those guys have been there for a while.
Mhm.
Like I think Tocchet finally came in and put the system like that they needed in, and like got the right guys going, especially Hughes. Like we've never seen him play like the way that he just did. But
I totally agree. Like I feel like,
Perfect reason to give him the coach of the year, though, right?
exactly,
Like,
no,
that's your whole,
100%. Like
that's
I
the
think
whole thing. Yeah, like you
That's
explained
what
it
coaches
perfectly.
to do. I mean, he
the only,
pushed
the only
right
guy that I
buttons, right?
think has the only guy I think has a legitimate argument wasn't even he must have finished fourth, Spencer Cadbury. Like
I think he was.
I think that guy like he literally dragged a team that should not have been anywhere to the playoffs. It's not like they did anything, but like Washington should not have been there for sure.
Totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Man. I don't know. I think that's exactly what Vancouver needed, though. If you put Rick Tocchet in like 3 years ago when Travis Green was still head coach, I don't think they'd be performing the same way they are now.
Yeah,
I feel like they did really well. Like Travis Green I think was great for the players, and then you bring in Bruce Boudreau.
Boudreaux,
who-
yeah.
That team looked great
Yeah.
when he came in. Right, that team was starting to show signs of a Stanley Cup winning team, and then you moved on to
Mhm.
Rick Tocchet, who brought him there. So they've always
Get
showed
him
signs,
dirty
so-
though, hey? Like, poor
Yeah,
Bruce. I still feel for that
agree.
guy.
Yeah, it's hard to say if he'll get another job, but I don't know. We'll see. NHL
He served his
They-
time.
they love recycling head coaches, so
Yeah,
well,
as seen
well,
by the
we'll see.
hires.
Yep, totally. Other news: Barkov won the Selke. That's no surprise. Again,
Very deserving. That's probably they might as
we've
well
already-
name that the
the
Barkov for the next
yeah.
5 years. Like
I mean,
Yeah.
Bergeron.
Bergeron's
yeah.
gone, yeah.
Yeah, Kopitar's over the hill. We've got one
Yeah.
guy.
There's just one guy that's just going to be dominating that now for rest of his career probably.
Honestly,
We got a trade. Me and
crazy.
me and Brendan were talking about this trade.
Mhm.
It's kind of weird, but
Yeah, that's
Nashville
a head scratcher and a half.
Nashville trades Ryan McDonough a 2024 fourth round pick, which is Edmonton's from the Tyson Berry trade, to Tampa for a second and a seventh. Which sure
Makes sense to me.
Like I get it. I know Tampa wanted a top four defenseman. They've been talking about it. That is one of their wants they wanted. And Ryan McDonough's familiar with the team. The people in the locker room probably love him. But now you have $5 million in cap space to sign Steven Stamkos.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And you don't have a full roster.
Yeah, and there's more people to sign to. Like,
Yep. And like the money that you're moving out, like they've got a bunch of big contracts with guys that
yeah,
you don't
you can't move.
really trade,
No.
right?
They're
Like
gonna have
that's
to, aren't they? They're gonna have to give up somebody big to.
well, and
keep their
Hedman's due
pieces
next
together.
year, no?
Unless if
Yeah.
they're saying this is the end of Steven Stamkos' time in Tampa. And
Yeah,
they said,
it's a
going,
business.
you're
Which
34
is-
years old. I love you, but it's time to go, blood.
It's what it's pointing to, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hedman is up
There'd be
next year.
quite a few teams I think who are looking for Steven Stamkos. They'd be happy to pick him up right
I
now.
saw a lot of Boston rumors.
Hey, perfect
Yeah.
fit.
Boston
Perfect
is
fit.
everywhere on any
Yeah.
center.
That would be Boston first line center right there. I don't know. It's so hard to see.
Imagine playing him with Marchand and then having him on one line and Pasternak on the other,
next.
and two right-handed shooters. I mean, coin flip for who gets that spot on the left dot, but on that power play, right? But who cares? We'll figure it out. Two fantastic hockey players.
Yeah,
I think
Whoever's rolling.
from what it sounds, I think that'd probably be the leading option in terms of what's going to happen here before the next season starts. Is we see a big name in Steven Stamkos leaving a team that he's been at for
His
a
whole
decade
career?
almost.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
More.
yeah, more than
More.
I mean,
I think he won the first cup 12 years in.
Ooh,
It's been a couple since then.
2004.
Yeah, like they've got just over 5 million.
It doesn't.
Just-
look
it's
good.
not
They've
gonna
also
happen.
got to sign like Tyler Mott and Duclair and Dumba. Like they're gonna let a lot of these guys go to free agency for nothing, and
Yeah.
like this team is too old to be doing that, in my opinion.
Mhm. I agree.
I don't know. I think they're really like McDonough. I think was probably the worst. Like,
But what's the
Boston
cap friendly look
defense
like?
fits in perfect.
I'm on it right now.
Sorry?
Like how?
If they've got 5 million and like
Because
They've got,
Vooch
like,
and Point
a-
pretty much have the same deal for
they
some
do.
time left.
for next
the
year.
Hagel contract
Ser-
kicks in this year.
Sergachev signed a big one, and he's there for a while.
8.5. Yeah. Hedman's 7.8
Edmonds
due next year,
Yeah, that's an issue too.
which I would rather keep Hedman over
Me too.
Stamkos, which that
Yeah.
sucks to say, but yeah,
it's a business. You
it's
can't.
a
You can't.
business. It's a business.
You can't play this sport
But-
with your heart, right?
It's the Tampa Bay Lightning. They always find a way.
I hear you.
Like,
It's
yeah.
Tampa
Yeah,
Bay
just
is
put
Steven
Cooch on
Stamkos.
LTIR right now.
They
Who
always,
knows
or
what-
maybe Sergachev. I don't know.
Yeah, like what if Sergachev's wasn't 100% healthy and still isn't 100%
Yeah,
healthy? Like,
who knows? Maybe that's like they probably know something we don't. So
yeah. I mean, odds are they might know a little more than me.
I was gonna
But
say,
unlikely.
Do you think
I'm
that
the
a
stat guy over
national
here.
hockey team,
I don't know.
hockey team is gonna know a bit more than five
Around the
people sitting
rinks?
in their
I don't know.
basements in Edmonton?
I don't know. It's really gonna I don't know who they move out that's worth that. Like maybe you should know. Like
But they just signed that too, and it's a pretty decent deal, no?
it's only 1
he's
year. I
making
think.
2.6. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not moving the needle.
No.
Like getting
I mean,
him
like,
at
how
2.6
much-
for
How much are you paying Stamkos? Like how much are you? How much
is
are you
he making right
comfortable
now?
giving him? Yeah, like he's 34 years old, coming off of one of his best seasons. Like
40 goals.
he's only honestly gotten better, minus
coming
the
off
50 goal, 60 goal he had.
the
he's
8.5.
making what? Like I was gonna say about
the
9.
same, yeah.
I don't know.
Or
Like if I was
some
Stammer, like there, I would take 5.
Yeah,
You've made
I
your
would
money.
do the exact same
Maybe.
thing. Five
Like,
times
just in
4
free
or
agency.
5 times.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
It's
get the
$20 million.
It's hard to
Yeah.
say. Like, not a lot of players take those discounts.
But that's
No.
no state tax too, no? In Florida?
Yeah, no state tax.
This is
That
true.
could be.
And I'm sure that he would, but I do think that he's probably also got the right to say, like, I've put enough time into this team. Like, you
I've
guys
won you 2
want me.
cups. You're welcome.
Yeah, right.
I'm sure his family's established there, though. They go to school there. They got this there.
Totally.
Do you really want to
But-
uproot? People don't think about that when you talk about like
Yep.
athletes moving and trades.
Yeah,
That's
like
There's
it's
a
life.
lot of behind the scenes, not just the sport, but like if he's been in Tampa for like 15 years, like you're saying, I mean,
That's home.
That's
Yeah,
why I don't.
that's-
That's
that's
why I
what
don't.
since I was
I
18 years
seriously,
old.
I seriously don't see it happening. I feel like Tampa always finds a way.
Noah,
Yeah.
shut up. Reese has his hand up, okay?
So let's just say, like,
Oh.
let's just say Liam's 100% right, which he almost always is. He doesn't want to leave his family in Florida. Where the hell is he gonna go? Florida.
This
They
was
got
like
19
10-minute
million
mystery of
cap
where Stamkos going.
Imagine if he goes to the Panthers.
19 million in cap space. They do have to sign a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I might have spoke too soon.
I was gonna-
For them to have a decent amount of cap space and him to be in free agency, you could upgrade.
Who's the notable names that are needing to be signed there?
Tarasenko, Montour.
Yeah.
You're letting Tarasenko walk.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's been great there though. He's almost.
What's he gonna want?
Steven
He's
Stamkos?
rushing gas too.
Yeah.
He's gonna want $8 million.
Yeah, probably.
Lundell needs a contract.
Oh, you gotta get him.
Might get like 3 or 4 though. I don't
Yeah.
think you have to pay him a ton. But who knows? We're really getting into speculation here. Sorry guys, but
Yeah, whatever.
We
great.
should
I think
definitely
that would
have
be
a
crazy.
full trade
Samurai.
podcast one time after
Oh, the
playoffs
trade
are done.
deadline?
Just
Oh,
we're cooking an idea right now for
Yeah.
trade deadline. Reece. Let me
Or,
tell you. I'll tell you
free
after this
agency.
podcast.
Free agency.
We're
Trade
thinking
deadline's
agency. I like
in
that.
March. We missed that.
We're
one.
cooking it. We're cooking an
Frenzy?
idea for that.
Yeah.
But,
I like it. I'll take it off work now.
No shit.
But yeah.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap things up?
One thing, this is the most watched Stanley Cup playoffs through 2 rounds ever. Viewership is up 12%.
TNT,
So-
thank you.
TNT
Yeah.
effect.
TNT
Yeah.
Yes.
is the big one there. And
Yeah.
I saw it was not good for the Canadian teams on ESPN for the
Yeah,
Edmonton,
figure.
Vancouver, and people are like, oh, no, these bums, no one watches Canadian hockey. It's like, yeah, everybody's watching on like Sportsnet.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
of Canada is watching it. But yeah, it's
Like
Um,
it started here. How can they diss Canada like that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Because they're
god.
Americans.
Yeah.
That's just the way it
It's
goes.
just
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
TNT
I-
is so fun watching their intermissions, and it's such good hosts.
I love TNT
So,
so much.
Speaking of
Did you guys
TNT,
hear? Did you guys
The
hear
basketball?
that? The basketball TNT
Yeah.
like, inside the NBA.
didn't see that.
They lost their rights to the NBA.
Wow.
So crazy. We're getting into something totally different here, but the what it sold for, what I heard was $7 billion, which is going to allow
Annually.
their players, yeah. Or I don't know if it's annually. Is it?
I saw NBC's paying 6, so 7's not a far stretch, but it was like an 11-year deal worth $80 billion or something stupid,
There's
whatever the
so
math
much
was.
money in sports. Let me
allows-
tell you.
It's
This
dumb.
allows the players in the
Not in
NBA. They have very like weird contracts, but the Supermax contract is the biggest. They can make up to $95 million a year. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my
We're
goodness.
gonna see athletes become billionaires before they're even retired.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
Well, what's that compared to the soccer contracts, Liam?
I'm just looking at right
Footy.
now.
It's probably it's
Some of
I'm
them
just
isn't
looking right
like
now,
crazy.
like for just
Saudi doesn't
streaming-
count.
No,
Saudi
like
doesn't count.
for the
Yeah.
English Premier League, the streaming deal for just the USA is 8.4 billion per season,
wow.
and that's just the US.
that is
Or-
it's so much bigger in Europe.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
so
so much bigger in Europe. Like
That's
times 10
crazy.
bigger in Europe.
That is silly.
That is silly.
Now
Exactly.
compare that to hockey.
the amount of money that
Yeah.
like, soccer generates.
We're-
is
we're-
I
just-
mean, like
we're
I
seeing
think
an
TNT
arena sell for 1 billion. We're seeing the
Yeah,
Coyotes sell.
TNT bought it for like quite a bit. Like
I think
it
they're
was a
paying
couple
$2
bill.
billion annually.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
But
I-
that's a 200% increase, if not more.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Mhm.
like in soccer, there's so in England, like I said, the Premier League's like your top league, and then there's the league below called the Championship. So there's a game that's to decide if you go from the Championship up to the Premier
Mhm.
League.
Do
Is
you
it
like
just-
that?
I love it.
I
It's
love
incredible.
that.
It's
Yeah,
so
that's-
much.
That's
Yeah.
pretty fun.
But they say it's the most expensive game in sports because if you win that, you'll be getting on
Mhm.
average of $250 million more in finance revenue the next season just through the TV deal alone. If you lose it, you just missed out on $250 million just from the TV deal, just from the TV, not the sponsorships, not the people coming to watch the games, just the TV right deal just by itself.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's a lot of money going on there.
Well,
yeah.
do you
But
guys-
at least the TNT, like the NHL TNT, will know for sure that will be the
That's
best
safe,
product that could possibly be.
Yeah,
honestly,
good.
I hope other stations and other programs are looking at that. It's like we got to do that. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the amount of
100%.
it's just more
They bring
fan-
life to the game, right?
It's just like it's better for the
Seriously.
fans in every
Yeah.
way.
Well,
I
like,
hate
I'd
watching
rather
Ron
watch-
McLean sitting around a table talking about 1948 hockey and the man's.
I love Ron McLean.
Shut up, Ron. Shut up.
Yeah. Like, he holds a special place in my heart, and I'm
Yeah.
always going to enjoy it. But
Get him in with Biz.
You can't look at me in the eye and say TNT doesn't do it better, right? Like,
Oh,
it's just
yeah,
that easy.
So much better. It's not even close.
Yeah, but at least we're still better than ESPN, those bums.
Oh, ESPN's tough.
But Sportsnet, if you're seeing this, I would totally take a job.
Yep, same. Please, please.
I the 5 of us will do a much better job than what's going on.
I mean, I only watch Sportsnet pretty much, so.
Yeah, same.
And I
Same.
love their whole crew there, so.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think
you
I've actually
licked the
really
boots
liked
enough,
Luke
Noah.
Gazdick.
Kevin
Luke
BX.
Gazdick has done a
Kevin BX
job.
is hilarious.
Yeah, and Gazdick's been a big ad.
Yeah,
Yeah, true. I love
I like
Friedman
I
on
think
there.
Gazdick is great. Freed.
Elliot Friedman's got weird lips though, so I can't get over that hurdle. Looks like a puffer fish. Looks like a
I've
puffer
never
fish.
noticed, and now I'm not going to be able to unsee it.
Yeah.
I hate you.
I love
Oh,
I
that's
love
the
Friedman.
worst.
He's got the same bottom lip as Josh Fenwick, actually.
Oh,
Okay, we
Shots.
just gotta go.
No, wrap this up.
Wait, hold on.
fucking Josh.
Reese, have you got your money yet?
No. I
Suck
think we're
it
gonna
twice,
have to
Josh.
we're gonna have to do a
Wow.
around the rinks. Little maybe we all pull up to his house or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Little black mask.
Kylie's
and
going to whip it out.
let him know.
What?
Don't worry
That's
about
after
it.
dark. That's after
It's
dark.
after dark. Around the rinks after
Oh,
dark.
this is going to be after dark for sure. We're going to do this in daylight? Not me. You ever seen a movie?
Dude. Early afternoon on a Tuesday.
All right. We'll be back probably halfway through round our conference finals.
Yeah.
Next week. I don't know when. We'll figure that out. See us on Spotify, YouTube. We're on Twitter,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Instagram.
Posting. You see in feeds from Bottom Road, Bottom Bowl, Game 6 in Edmonton. Those were
Hey,
some
you
sick.
want-
Those were some
you want
sick,
live?
sick
They're
posts.
great.
Guess, and I actually paid all that money myself.
I
a
took a
bird.
look today, actually. So game 1 here at Edmonton, the cheapest tickets available are $400. If you want to sit lower bowl, you're looking at about $1,300 to $1,400.
Oh,
There it
For
is.
one ticket.
oh.
You
Yeah.
said $400. I was like, I'll do that right now. And then
Right.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Around,
Bowl,
around the rinks is looking for a sponsorship. So.
Yes.
Please. Okay,
I
well.
don't know. I
Wrap
don't know,
this
Brent.
up,
That's
Noah.
pretty nice. That's a pretty nice kitchen in your background there. You must have some.
Not bad, eh?
KFC delivered to him. These guys living
Yeah.
life.
All right,
Pretty
well,
sick.
we'll see you guys next week then. Peace out.
Goodbye.
That has been another episode of Around the Rinks, your go-to hockey podcast. We'll see you next time.